Hey guys, Jay's 2 cents. Just got done doing some live streaming of Battlefield 3 where I was getting kind of owned tonight. Wasn't playing very good. But I've been getting some messages from people asking why I don't really talk about the motivational weight loss type stuff anymore. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where granted, I've lost a lot of weight. Um, I don't know. It's like I don't really feel like, I guess you could say qualified to talk about it sometimes, even though I've lost, 200 pounds or over 200 pounds. But I have to realize too that I do have a lot of good information that could definitely help a lot of people, especially since I get messages all the time from people that have seen the weight loss stuff and they want to see more about that. So today I'm going to go ahead and just talk a little bit about, I guess, reasons why you should make whatever change necessary to better your life. And for most people, that would be weight loss. I mean, especially if you're an American, it's just part of our culture to be overweight. We're surrounded by food. We're surrounded by fast food and convenience and eating go hand in hand. And next thing you know, you're hundreds of pounds overweight and you don't know how you got there. Or at least that's what you tell yourself. You tell yourself, well, I don't know how I got to 500 pounds, or I don't know how I got to 400 pounds, or wherever you are. You know how you got there. It's not a mystery. We're really good at putting ourselves in denial. And you may look back and you may think about it and go, wow, I honestly don't remember gaining the weight. I just know one day I woke up and I'm this massive, obese, overweight person. And that's what happened to me. I mean, one day I honestly looked at myself and went, what happened? How did I get here? And it's pretty obvious how I got there. It was hand to mouth and all day long. It was amazing how much I really put myself out of my own forethought, where I didn't. It's like, you're doing damage to yourself, but you choose to ignore that because you've taken comfort in food, which is why it's very difficult for me to lose the remaining, 40 pounds I have to lose. It's only 40 pounds. What's 40 pounds compared to the 215 or so I've already lost? I'll tell you right now, this last 40 feels as hard as the other 200. And I've just not been making much headway. I mean, yeah, I'm down into the 280s, and that's where I've stayed from 494 pounds. But it's almost like I'm starting to fool myself and saying, "Oh, I'm content with where I'm at." I mean, I'm very physically able to do the things I need to do. I'm strong. I can move my weight around no problem. I can run. But that's me once again getting complacent with where I am, which again starts the cycle of what started everything in the beginning in the first place, and which is not taking accountability and then justifying and then accepting an unhealthy lifestyle, which then creates the situation, and everything comes full circle. So, there's a lot of people who ask, well, I can't afford a gym membership, or I can't afford. Guys, the humans have been around long before gym memberships. Humans have been around long before fast food. And the bottom line is you could lose all the weight you need to lose without ever hitting the gym. And it's all about putting the right foods into your body. But the thing is, our appetites become used to a certain amount of food. And even though you're not exerting the amount of energy it takes to use the 4,000 calories or whatever it is you're eating, or 5,000 calories, or whatever you could easily eat in a day by eating out. You can eat 2,000 calories plus in one meal eating out, which is most people's daily intake. But I digress a little bit here. What I'm trying to say is that the very first step you have to do in realizing that you need to lose weight is you need to take a long look in the mirror. And we've all seen ourselves. You look at yourself in the mirror every morning or when you're in the bathroom or whatever, but you need to really look at yourself, because it's amazing how good of a job I did at avoiding reflections. And I kind of still do it. where if you're walking down a street and there's all glass storefront next to you, you'll do everything you can not to look over and look at yourself. And then when you're in the bathroom, you force yourself to look at yourself, but if you're brushing your teeth, you're looking at your teeth, or if you're brushing your hair, you're looking at your hair, but you're not really looking at you. So if you have weight to lose, you need to do it in baby steps. There ain't nobody who's ever done anything immediately, overnight, cold turkey, nothing. And most of the time that doesn't work. But the very first step, I can honestly say to especially those who've been messaging me about how to get started with losing weight, is you have to accept the reality of why you are where you are, whatever that may be. I mean, we have obviously chosen food as a coping mechanism, but food isn't the problem. Food was what your mind or our human brain attached to make us feel more comfortable about our problems. Food isn't the problem. Which is why in my situation, I was gaining weight back even though I had bariatric surgery and I had weight loss surgery. And people will say, "Oh, you can't gain your weight back." Oh, yes, you can. In fact, I had gained back over 40 pounds of what I had already lost and got back up to 325 pounds when I started doing these vlogs and stuff. And now I'm back down to 284-ish right now. And so as you can see, I mean, I re-lost about 40 pounds, which really is frustrating because it's like, damn, if I hadn't regained that weight, I would be roughly at the 240 pounds I want to be at already. So I just did that work twice. What sense does that make? Well, because, the problems that were creating the need to want to eat were still there. Because surgery doesn't make you deal with the problems. It just forces you to no longer be able to cope with the amount of food. You can still eat the wrong foods. So look at yourself. Take a long look at yourself. Take a picture of yourself. And look at the picture if you have to. Because your mind will play tricks on you. And you won't see the real you in the mirror. You'll see the you want to see, or the twisted perception of the way you see yourself. If you take a photo and you look at the photo, you'll find usually there's a major difference between what your brain sees and what the photo sees. I think we've all done it. We've all looked at a photo of ourselves and went, do I really look like that? For me, when I was losing weight, I had to look at a photo to realize I was losing weight because I continued to see the 500-pound guy in the mirror. Even though I was 400 pounds and 350 and 300, I would still see that big guy. And so I was having a real hard time with even accepting the fact that I was getting healthier. And then when you look at yourself, try and think about what it is that triggers you to want to eat. What happens that makes you say, well, I'm going to eat? Is it any stressful event? Is it a particular stressful event? Is it one thing that can make you say, oh, this happened, and so it's guaranteed that I'm going to go to the fridge and I'm going to pull out, I'm going to make a huge sandwich, or I'm going to get a bowl of ice cream or something. I'm sure most of us can find at least a couple of things that we realize as triggers, and what you need to do is you need to work on reprogramming your brain to find a different coping mechanism for that trigger. I know it sure sounds like I'm making it sound easy, and it's definitely not. It's going to be a lifelong struggle. And I'm here to help you as much as I possibly can. It's not going to be easy, and I'm still struggling with it every day, so it makes me feel like a hypocrite to even talk about it, but at least I have some success to show for it. But I'm going to have to deal with it the rest of my life, because I've already shown myself that I can easily gain back, and at a very scary rate, too. I mean, it didn't take long for me to gain back 40 pounds when I decided just to say, oh, whatever, I can't lose weight. And my body was like, oh, yes, you can, fat ass. No, anyway, just kidding. So, guys, I hope this video helped in some way. I know it was kind of all over the place, but we're talking about a psychological situation here, and it's not easy to talk about. Everyone's triggers are different. Everyone's coping is different. But if you're coping with food, it's not like alcoholics where you can try and quit alcohol, or cigarettes where you can try and quit smoking. You have to eat, and it's not easy. And if you need to message me for any sort of help, I'll do the best I can, like always. See you tomorrow.